Hello everybody, I am Tytti Solantaus and I'm talking to you from Finland. And I so much wish I could be there with you. It would be so much more fun. However, here I am. And I have named my talk with Let's Talk About Children and Organic Growth. And when it came to my mind, this title, it felt right. But then I realized that I didn't really know what organic growth would mean. And so I had to, of course, Google it. And here it is. There are two ways for human beings to keep their heads warm. We can grow hair or we can put on a hat. It takes a while to grow hair, but we create it ourselves. The hair is equivalent to organic growth, and a hat is equivalent to inorganic growth. Okay, there's an argument to be made for this talk. LTC is comparative to hair. LTC has inner power to grow, and it grows. I use the history of LTC to make my argument. The story begins in the 1970s, when I had graduated from med school and started to work in a child guidance clinic with families and children with problems. And a depressed mother came to me, searching for help. And of course we sat down and discussed her life from different angles. And I learned that she was a single mother with two small children of under school age. And she worked in a factory in a 3-shift work. And the salary was very low. And gradually she opened up more and told that the personnel in the daycare center had complained that her children walk around in dirty clothes. And this was very hard for her to tell and very, very tough for her. And she felt that she's not a good mother, she can't manage things. And she was depressed also, very depressed. And so we discussed her situation and gradually I did start to understand her. And I said to her that what if I wouldn't write depression pills for you, or not individual therapy either, but I would write a prescription to the social services income support unit for them to get you a washing machine. And the mother was surprised and delighted, but then she just fell back to and said that they wouldn't do that. And I said that this is the first time I never do this, and so I don't know if they would do it or not. But I think it would be worth trying. Do you want to try? And she said yes. And so I wrote a prescription for her to get the washing machine, saying that this is an able mother and she's dedicated to her children, but her situation is absolutely overwhelming. And she needs a washing machine urgently because she's near a breakdown. And if she breaks down, you have to take the 2 children into out-of-home custody, and it's going to cost you much more. And the mother received the washing machine in a couple of weeks. And then I started to analyze this in my mind ways later. And here it is what I found out what happened in that. The words in red, the issues in red, are the core issues that happened in the session but they're also the core issues of LTC even now. The patient's dignity was re-established and respected. The family, mother and the children, were seen and understood in the context of their larger ecology. The meaning of everyday routines for the mother, child and family was acknowledged. Shared understanding developed between us too. The mothers gradually understood that I was not there to blame her or to educate her how to be a good parent. LTC is not about psychoeducation. But I was there to understand her and help her. And I started, of course, understanding her situation. And then the parent had kind of a discussion within her head. She came with this idea, this thinking that she was, believed that she was a poor mother. And then she got some, other information. And you could see that there was, a discussion going on in her head. And then action based on this, getting the washing machine. So what happened was that the mother gained back her own energy and self-determination, and life started to pick up for the little family. And so this was the beginning of LTC, and for the next 30 years, I worked with families and did research and studied other people's research, and gradually built up the intervention in my mind. And when I entered the National Institute for Health and Welfare, the LTC was written up in 2 years. And trained also. And a very rapid expansion of LTC across the country started to happen. And I started to receive phone calls all around Finland. Is it okay if I have done LTC with parents with diabetes, with cancer, in social services with families whose children were taken to custody? How about with family where the father is going to be your mother? And so on. And so what else is organic growth but this? That people who were trained to do LTC, they took the LTC to their patients of different sorts and with different diagnoses in different services. And that's how LTC grew up. And it was actually hard to keep track of it. We had seminars two times a year, and part of the program was always that somebody, or those people who had taken LTC to different patient groups or new services, etc., told about their experiences so that it could be shared and we could discuss it. There was also international interest, and I got invitations from many countries to come and talk about and tell about LTC, and many countries wanted to also get the training. And Tytti Solantaus, whom many of you know very well, in Tallinn and in Estonia, was and has been my trusted trainer. But LTC demanded more. Okay, here's a picture which shows how you or we usually, you start working with LTC. LTC focuses on family functioning, relationships, parenting, and there's our parents who are distressed and maybe have mental health problems. And so we aim to support children's well-being. But when you have worked a little bit with this setting, you will be a little frustrated. In the ecological approach, you have learned that the family has maybe many different problems that impinge on parents. And you understand and realize that those have to be also attended to help the parents and the family and the children. And you realize that there are a lot of resources around the family. There are a lot of services, and also the parents or the family's own social network, which could, all of these could help the family, but how to put it together. And you might want to, you probably try a network meeting, inviting those people who could help the family together. But then the problem is that it's difficult to get all those people together, and if you start doing it very often, it's not going to go well. So there has to be a system to do this. There has to be collective activity from all of these partners, and to get an impact out of it. In 2011, Kenya Kramer wrote a paper about collective impact. And I have now listed those things that they mention as important ones. Common agenda amongst all those who participate. Shared measurement in activities, mutually reinforcing activities, continuous communication. These all deal with interaction and collaboration between the different partners. And then an infrastructure to make this possible for decision making, monitoring, feedback, budget, etc. And now the LTC service system was built up, starting from LTC and the needs that LTC brings up, and Mika Niemelä is the one who has been active in the field to make this thing work. The first thing is that rather than focusing on individual impact, the service model aims at population level outcomes. Of course, the individual impact on certain families or individual families, children, etc., is there, but the aim is also to get the population level impact. The core of LTC model is the agreement to promote all partners agree to promote children's well-being in everyday life in all developmental contexts, which is the aim also of LTC. And that's why LTC is a good tool in this. It is a goal that makes sense, that everyone can accept, can be scientifically argued and expressed in common language. Very important. And because implementation of LTC service model touches all corners of the service system, and through schools and kindergartens, the whole child population and their parents, a commitment of administrative and political leaders is crucial. And then the infrastructure to make this all happen. The multi-agent management group is kind of a core or at the heart of it. It is a decision-making body, including leaders from all different service sectors and stakeholders, which means that problems are discussed, plans made, successes achieved, and failures discussed around the same table. So that you cannot, if something goes wrong, you can say that it was them there doing it. Or that if there's success, you can say, well, it was me, because it's a collective system. It is also important to mention right here, right now, that the starting point for the process is support for children and families, the most important thing. So, rather than waiting for the collaborative infrastructure to be developed, work with patients, with families, begins immediately. Patients, clients, families. Work with families informs the change process and is its generator. the outcome in the first community where the service model was fully implemented was very positive. There was a 25% decrease in children referred to child protection services, while the national statistics showed a continuous rise. So 25% decrease in children's needs for child protection services is very impressive. So I named this talk, Let's Talk About Children and Organic Growth. And I think that it's actually, LTC itself has pulled us into the system change. It kind of forces us to act. So it's been a development or a pathway from a small intervention towards population well-being. So, come on and join us. Thank you.